Okay, so no introduction needed today. Another camp talk. So those that aren't familiar, camp talks are where Taifke and I do no show prep and just sit down with a bottle of whiskey and the conversation typically goes off the rails, which it did today. Everybody from Gary, Indiana, we still love you. All right, everybody, here we go. Camp Talk 2. It makes my job extremely hard to try to edit said video and said audio and then match everything up. So basically, you people watching the YouTube get pretty much the raw deal. Last episode, I didn't edit anything out. Nothing.
Yeah, you even left Hank Tree and the Amazon driver in there.
Also scared the shit out of me when I was listening to it in my truck. So sorry about that, everybody. I knew it was coming, too. That was the worst part. He said, got him Tree. Chris is a funny
Chris
guy,
is
man.
so funny. Oh, man. We need to have him back on sometime.
Yeah, we'll have him and Dustin back for sure. They just did another giveaway on their Michiana Monsters.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, we have some shout-outs. I forgot all about that. I did have a little bit of itinerary. See, I did do some show prep. See, these camp talks is basically just me and Taifke sitting down and just winging it because...
This is what happens when we don't have anybody to come in here and actually fill the conversation. So you get to listen to two drunk fucks.
Well, my brother was supposed to be here, but unfortunately, he is doing his own podcast.
Bobby's busy.
Yeah, Bobby be busy, yo. So, yep, he's not here. Anyway, shout-outs. I wanted to... What do I got here? Oh, I want to mention a Nick for reaching out. I don't want to say his last name, but I'm assuming he came from the Michiana Monsters group because he said he got a hold of Chris and was inquiring about us. And Chris told him to get a hold of us and basically offered to come be a guest. He was the one with the dogs.
He's the one with dogs run the hogs and...
The terriers and the hounds.
Okay.
So, possible future guest, but we appreciate that. We love it when you guys reach out like that. That's awesome. Michael. Michael T. I don't want to say his last name either, but he was from... you'll know who I'm talking about. He was from Michiana Monsters as well. He runs the Fall Obsession, I think it is.
I don't think I know who you're talking about.
Well, he did. He reached out and did he shared our last episode from the group, and he was.
You has picture you can show me so I can put two and two together? Maybe, possibly.
Want to do that right now? I already feel kind of awkward because I stumbled all over that. So,
All right, we can move on.
we're just gonna move right on, and then So also Zach Carson's running for Lake Township supervisor, so hopefully he gets your guys' vote here in Lake Township in the fall. So
100% will have mine.
Yeah, good guy. He let me borrow his lawnmower once.
I'm surprised he didn't just come down and mow it for you.
He's that kind of guy. But no, he did. He let me borrow his lawnmower, his zero turn, which was awesome.
I'm pretty sure he came and plowed your driveway this year while we were rabbit hunting.
He did. Did I ever tell you I finally got a hold of him? And I was like, dude, did you come plow my driveway? He's like, yeah.
You never said anything. It's
like, dude,
I knew Dan didn't have the back drag on.
So good guy, great guy. So anyway, Zach Carson. Vote for him in the fall, people.
Also, if you need any really awesome handrails made for your house, dude knows his shit.
Facts. So that's basically it for the itinerary because the rest of it was from my brother who is not here.
Well, what were you going to talk to Bob about?
I was that gang level went way up. I was going to talk to him about his upcoming bear hunting trip
So
in
you
May.
didn't do the count to 10 for yourself, Bert? What the hell?
I did, but I just now noticed that it sounds a little echoey.
I mean, it could be because we have the blinds up and the doors open because it's like actually spring now.
Pro tip, there's a level knob and then there's also a gain knob. The gain knob, when you turn that up, that means the farther back away I am, the more it picks up. But the further down, closer you got to be for it to sound full. So you got to hit that sweet spot, Taifke.
I don't know these things. A little bit of whiskey there. Sorry.
So here in Michigan, opening day of turkey season's opening up Saturday morning.
Yep. Hopefully it's not raining.
What are your plans?
My plans are, if it's raining, go to work. If it's not raining, I'm going to be...
Why would you go to work? They move in the rain.
Overtime. I don't like a wet ass.
I don't like a wet ass either, but I feel like it's opening day of turkey season.
Also,
so you have to.
No, you have to.
I feel obligated.
Meh.
Meh.
I have faith I'll get one. Whether it's opening day or
I like the
opening
confidence.
evening.
I like the confidence.
That's the thing. Down in Johns Field, people don't hunt them very often, and they don't expect it, dude. You can stalk up within 30 yards pretty easy.
Yeah.
And that's a freaking bean field.
I don't know. Stalking turkeys doesn't ever really excite me, though. I mean, I've tried doing it. I don't think successful. Oh, I take that back. I have once.
Okay, so we had this conversation about the stalking turkeys and the bows and whatnot, and with a shotgun, I could agree that stalking a bird with a shotgun, probably not the most exciting. Stalking with a bow, I would think would be...
Stalking with a bow would be cool, but I don't know. Like, to me, the exciting part about turkey hunting is calling them in.
Yeah, I haven't had that experience because, remember, I was always really shitty at that.
It's addicting. It is. It's fucking awesome. That's all I think about. From, like, January to opening days, all I think about is turkey.
So not your pregnant girlfriend or anything, just turkeys?
I mean, there's a little bit about that, too. But mostly turkeys. What the fuck was that?
That was my phone. Probably a side job.
That was a hell of a vibration.
Yeah, that's why I keep it in my front pocket, Bert.
That a boy. Really? Not your back pocket, huh?
Nope. That makes things feel a little weird.
So are you going with the mouth call then?
Well, my box calls are at my brother's house right now because they're technically his. He just agreed to sell them to me.
Yeah.
So it will be mouth call. And I've tried the regular size ones. I have a fairly small upper palate. They don't work. Dude, I'm not kidding.
You got a deformed palate?
No, it's just small.
You don't look like you would have a small palate.
I know, I have a very round face.
Man, I didn't say
very,
you did.
Very round face.
I didn't say you did.
Oh, no, I know. Trust me, people point it out all the time.
I got kind of a round face myself, though. I've been compared to Ben Roethlisberger. Which hurt my feelings.
He's got a milk jug for a head.
Okay, he does. That's so mean.
Not one of the half gallons either.
Fuck. Plus, I hate the Steelers. I don't really hate the Steelers, but...
Oh, man. I don't know why. I cannot explain it.
Just don't like them.
Never been to Pittsburgh. Never had any family that lived there.
I bet Pittsburgh, no offense to you Pittsburgh listeners, but I feel like Pittsburgh, like I imagine it smelling like fart.
No. Just straight iron.
Fart. Because don't you use a lot of, like, water when you're doing metal work and stuff, and there's a lot of steam, right? And a lot of heat to heat up the metal. Like Gary. Gary smells like fucking fart all the time.
Yeah, Gary's just a shithole. Gary, Indiana.
For all you and Gary, we're sorry, and you should move.
Yeah, I don't know how y'all stand it. I can smell that stuff with the right wind conditions up here.
I'm going to tell you what, though. Even living at my parents' house when I was a kid, the ethanol plant down in South Bend, when the wind came out of the south just right, it smelled like...
You sure it wasn't the Buchanan dump, Brent?
No. Oh, yeah. That we could smell that from time to time, too. That's got a very unique smell. But the ethanol plant had almost... It reminded me of like when the woods is real wet and you like come up on like boy, this is a really shitty description, but like a really damp, waterlogged piece of wood with a shit ton of fungus and mushrooms on it. Fungus and mushrooms, they're the same shit, but you know what I mean. It just smells, like a moldy basement almost.
Musty fungus, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And not from the Girls of Cadiz.
Well, not all of them. Every bar has some.
There's been a few.
Every bar has some. However, there are a few Girls at Counties that make me spend way too much money. We're not going to name names, all right? That ass, though. And I swear to God, if she listens to this, she knows exactly who she is.
Tyfke, we're getting married. You can't talk about her like that on the podcast. I
really want to say some things, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You heard it here first.
No, you know what? No, hang on. Her proportions are not in that area. They're a little farther north.
Thanks, Typekey. He's trying to say that my girlfriend has ginormous,
Brent,
bodacious Bahama mamas. Especially right now because she is pregnant.
She's going to slap the shit out of you.
Nature. It's going to be a couple weeks before she makes it to this episode, I'm sure. So I'll have some time. And then I won't see it coming. So it'll be like a surprise. Like we'll just be sitting at Connie's and then she'll like walk in and be like, hey, babe. Not that my girlfriend goes, my pregnant fiance does not go into the bar to drink anymore.
Unless she's coming down there to pick your ass up.
Right. But she'd walk into Connie's and just smack me across the face. And then we would both be like, oh, yeah, that's right. That one, episode 8.
No, I will be like, oh yeah, he had that coming. And you'll be like, is this foreplay?
She knows I like it a little rough.
That's too much information for our viewers, Brent. You just... I
mean, it is my last name.
No, that's like barking like a dog. Different kind of rough, buddy.
Those birds sound so pretty.
On that note, I need more whiskey.
Oh. I'm so glad I opened that window. It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
It is. It's gorgeous. And then, we get background noise without even paying for it.
Right. Ambient noises. And do you realize, Typekey, that I didn't even turn on the lights today?
I didn't even know there were fucking lights in here.
Typekey, we record at nighttime. Can I have some of that whiskey too, please?
Damn it. Yes, sir.
Broke my own rule. Made a bunch of noise.
Don't drop the diamond.
Don't drop the diamond. Yeah, I think we weren't very prepared before we hit the record button today. We were literally scrambling.
I was just sitting here making fun of him.
Yeah, my chord organization, of all things.
Well, it's like...
Way to kick a man when he's down. I'm like struggling, trying to get shit plugged in here, running cords here.
Dude, it looked like a leprechaun trap.
What? A leprechaun trap? I've never seen a leprechaun trap.
You had one under the table and on top of the table. It was all the cords just woven together. And yeah.
Speaking of traps, should we talk about that?
Oh, you're coyote trapping? How you caught a freaking crow?
Should we start by storytelling about why I'm trapping coyotes in April?
Yes. Because you can trap them year-round, can't you?
You can trap them year-round because of nuisance, which is exactly what I'm doing.
I was going to say, I know you had nuisance rights, but I wasn't sure if you had to go permit-wise for that.
No. So if I was putting up the fur, I would need a fur harvester license for coyote. Gotcha. Or if I was trapping anything else like mink, muskrat, blah, 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 coon. Foxes, right, which...
So if you accidentally catch a fox, are you going to let it go?
Yeah, I'll let it go. I like foxes anyway. I don't mind having them around.
Yeah, you don't have chickens. Sandra, however, chickens and ducks and quails and guinea hens. And
last night at Woody's.
She's like, yeah, no, there's a fox right by the fucking chicken coop. You should probably shoot it.
Yeah. I got 4 snares left over. I can hand to her if she wants to use them.
No, she'll cut the head off a quail with a pair of scissors, but she ain't going to hurt a puppy.
Let's talk about that before we get into trapping, because that was awesome. Let's talk about your quail execution.
I don't really want to. That's been talked about a lot. They tasted really good, though.
So we were getting ready to go on a rabbit hunt. This is months ago. Just me and Typekey stopped over, getting the shotguns ready, blah, blah, blah. Typekey walks up to the garage with this box that's moving and making noise.
Oh, it wasn't making noise quite yet. Hank was very interested, his dog.
Right. So this box is moving, and he's like, I got, 20 quail?
10 quail.
10 quail.
She had too many boys in the litter, and she had to get rid of them because they were tearing the girls up.
So the lady that gave him the quail said to reach in the box, grab them, pull up their heads, take the game shears, and just...
I couldn't do it.
Which is still a little bit more civilized, because I feel like I would have done it like I do pigeons. After you shoot them with a pellet gun and they drop, run up and just grab them by the head and go, just rip it off. There's not much holding that shit on her.
Man, I prefer a 12 gauge.
So that's what Typekey ended up doing, because Typekey is a softie.
If I don't see it, I'm okay with it.
I'm with you on that because you told me what she told you to do, and I'm like, ooh, that seems a little personal.
Well, and to be fair, I tried first. I grabbed one out of the box, and it just looked at me, and it was so fucking cute. And I'm like, all right, I'm not normally a little bitch, but I'm going to be a little bitch. Because that thing is adorable, and it's just got the cutest little, like, oh, you're going back in the box. I can't do it.
So like, I'm still getting shit ready in the garage and, doing my thing. And out of my peripheral, I just see Taifke, like, pacing, like, trying to figure this out. Like, man, he picked up the one bird, put it back down, put the box back down, walked away for a minute.
It's called anxiety bird.
Right. Like, how am I going to do this? So... He comes into the garage and looks at me dead in the face, serious as a heart attack, and says, I'm going to shoot the box. Takes his 12 gauge, walks out to the wood line, and what were they? Number 6s?
No, they were
number 8s.
They were high brass 8s. They had like 400 frickin' pellets. There's a dove load.
So got these quails so that he could eat them without spitting out shot. Instead, decided
I
to
took
just
them as a
shoot
favor.
the fucking box.
Hey, I haven't found any pellets in it yet.
Funniest part was he brought the box back and it was still moving.
There was one. I don't know how that happened. I skimmed the top of the box and basically took all their heads off. But one of them must have been like laying down sleeping or some shit. Because it didn't even have any BB holes in it. It was just
wasn't sleeping after that.
All of them got mowed down. And I'm like, cool. And then I opened the box and one of them popped its head up out of the pile. Damn it. Like, all right, well, I guess I can.
Didn't you actually take that one's head off?
Yeah, I felt
and you were
real
like,
bad.
Yeah, but I thought you did it and you were like, well, that was kind of easy. Should have just done that with the rest of them.
I mean, it was a simple process, but it still hurt.
It still hurt my feelings.
I know I'm a ginger and I don't have a soul according to all of you, but I say I'm a daywalker. I still got half a soul, and it kind of hurt that little buddy.
I feel that. Because I didn't want to do it either. I wasn't exactly
I almost just tossed him to Hank, but I felt like that was more cruel.
That would have been a lot worse.
I know. That's how I was like, oh.
So
well, I could toss him up like a clay pigeon.
So quick backstory on that. I don't want to get too detailed, but there was last summer, Allie was at a horse show. You and I were down the Connie's party and came back, and I went to go. There was a light on inside of our barn out back here where our horses are. Went to go shut that off, and lo and behold, there was a possum in there, and it cornered itself. And Hank had it cornered, and Hank has never seen a possum before, other than when they play dead. He's kind of like grabbed him and shit, and
So he saw a live possum.
A very alive possum. And the problem with possums are, so I personally don't mind possums. They eat a lot of ticks. You were talking about the turkey egg thing the other day. They do eat a lot of turkey eggs, which turkeys eat more ticks. But either way, I don't mind possums. Except for with horses, you cannot have them anywhere near them because they carry something, I think it's called EPM.
Yeah, it causes some kind of mold in the hay that really, really fucks up the horses.
So you have to get them out of here, right? So I'm staring at Hank, looking at this possum, and I didn't have anything on me, and I knew if I were to go back and get the gun, it was going to move, and Hank would just follow me, and the thing would be gone.
Right.
So I was debating. I'm like,
we need to work on your, like, having a gun at the ready thing.
Yeah.
You had that issue quite a bit for being on a farm, dude.
Yeah. So that... Shut up. I was coming back from the bar.
All right. Good on you for being responsible and not drinking with firearms.
Right. So...
Unlike everybody else in Baroda.
But basically, I was like, I made a decision. I was like, well, Hank needs to know that these fuckers don't need to be around here anyway. So I basically told him to...
Get him, boy.
Get his ass. And he got his ass, and it was one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life.
Welcome to nature, buddy.
Holy shit. Like, when he gets squirrels, like, I'll center punch a squirrel. You've seen it. Drops.
Right.
He does the, like, corn on the cob crunch.
Right, he'll just, like...
Which all dogs do. They go up and then go down and just squish their body, which is totally weird. Which you would think would fuck up the meat, but it really doesn't.
Pre-tenderizes.
There you go. But, yeah, so back to the coyote thing, though. So This was 3 weeks ago now.
Going back into you not having a gun again.
Yeah, so funny story. Oh, those are turkeys out there.
Funny story, Bert's ADD is still active with the windows open.
Very active. Don't mind knowing. Did you like that? I don't even know where that came from. That was like half deaf and half retarded.
And maybe a quarter Asian.
We love you guys. We love you Asian people. Who the fuck is us people?
Say, stop singling them out.
You're just digging your hole deeper, buddy.
That's worse.
Anyway, so
Y'all gave us the microchip. That's why we have cell phones. We love you.
I was on my way to the farm, or I was going to be on my way to the farm, so I started the Jeep, was letting that warm up, and then I was like, well, shit. Me and Hank are going to take a quick cruise out back to go look for coho, just to see if they were in the creek. Didn't have anything with me. Nothing. Like, no gun, which is, I usually, if I'm going to walk out back here, every single time take a 17, just in case something happens like what happened that day. So, Hank and I and Hustler, my fiance's dog, which is about a 45, 50 pound.
You haven't announced that yet.
What?
On the podcast, you haven't announced that you're engaged.
I'm engaged.
She actually said yes to this guy.
I know.
I got to give him credit. The ring was really nice.
We'll get into that story in a minute because the engagement story is actually pretty funny.
It's hilarious, especially because I was right.
But so, goddamn, I keep getting distracted. I gotta get through the story. So we went down to the creek, me and both the dogs. Hustler is, I stopped because I said 45, 50 pounds. Allie says he swears to God he's like 55, 60 pounds, but whatever.
He's a big blue heeler.
He
man.
is a big blue heeler.
I believe 55 out of him.
So anyway, not a small dog by any means. And
no, he's big, midsize.
The little mischievous bastard likes to go wander off quite a bit. And as far as like, we'll go on walks. Hank usually sticks right next to me because he's used to hunting.
Right. He's got pretty good recall.
Yeah.
Hustler is just like, he's kind of like you.
Kind of like, that smells interesting. What's over here? Yeah. So he like
that's very, very flamboyant with that.
Was I talking with a lot of S's?
Yes.
So
God damn, you concern me sometimes. You know that, buddy?
I was imitating Hustler. Like if he was a person, that's how he would sound. Like this.
He does have the wiggle butts going on, so I could see that.
Little twinkle toes.
Yup.
So we're down by the creek. We're looking, me and Hank, and I thought Hustler was right behind me, and I hear this yelp from across the creek where it's super thick. And then it's super thick woods for probably 60 yards, and then it opens up into a hayfield. And that sounded like that's where he was in the hayfield. Heard it again. Like, oh shit, So with a bum leg, which is why I'm like trying to run up the creek bank, get up there.
It's basically water sand. For anybody that knows what water sand is, not good.
Oh, it sucks. So I finally make it up to the top, and then I start running towards the bridge to get across the creek to go get him. Just in time to see Hustler, the healer, busting ass coming out of that hayfield down the path with. I'm gonna say, man, it was the biggest coyote I've ever seen.
They get big around here, man. I don't know what it is, but I always thought that they were mixed with domestic dogs because I've seen quite a few that I would put at the 60, 70 pound range, which is massive for a coyote.
Oh, 70-pound coyote is unheard of, man. It's huge.
And I've seen a lot of them around here that I don't know if they're just old or if there's one genetic strain.
I got a theory on that, so we'll get back to that. But this dog, this coyote, its legs were as long as Hank. Hank, my dog, is part bull mastiff Rottweiler. He's got bull mastiff legs. They're just long legs. So, but this thing was just, it had its hackles up, blah, blah, blah. So I know it looked bigger than it really was. I'm not dumb, but it was just huge anyway. It was just tall, dwarfed Hustler, and watched him bite him on the ass as they're running. So obviously, dude, it was like a bad dream. Like I told you before, like I could not get there quick enough, dude. Mind you, like we talked about earlier, this is like the one and only time I've walked back there without a fucking weapon at all.
Right.
And so I
didn't even have a pocket knife.
I was prepared to fucking kill a coyote with my bare hands because I just wanted to save my dog,
Right. Yeah, Hustler's a good boy.
The crazy thing was, because at the time I didn't know what the hell he was doing, because he's sprinting like back, like straight beelining towards the house, like past me, like for video.
Trying to get away from the other dog.
Well, that was the thing. So I was like, why didn't he turn towards me? And I think he thought that coyote was so close that if he would have turned, it would have rolled him over. It would have caught up to him.
Right.
But he got to the point to where Hustler couldn't see me anymore, and then he turned around. And that's when my heart dropped, because I'm like, oh my God, man. Like, I don't know how many coyote teeth you've ever felt besides deadheads. I'm talking like
they're pretty damn
freshly
sharp.
killed. They are like a razor blade.
They're sharp, man. I've shot quite a few of them just out deer hunting or seeing them in the yard. When I lived down with my uncle, there were a few of them that like come up by the pond waiting on ducks or whatever, chickens. You know, can't have them coming after your livestock. So
no, hell no.
Shoot them.
So I'm thinking, man, that sucks, because all it's going to take is like 2 or 3 good shakes, man, to the throat. He's going to rip Hustler wide open.
I would hope Huss would fight back enough that it would give you a second, or at least like give Hank a second to get up there.
So that was the other thing. Like, so at this point, I'm like 20 yards away. I know, I like how, like, when I tell the story, my numbers keep changing to how far away I was, but to my best guess, I was about 20 yards away, and I'm fucking screaming at the top of my lungs, and I look over my shoulder expecting to see my dog passing me at any moment now, which is 100-pound beefy Rottweiler Mastiff mix.
He's a big boy.
And I turn around over my shoulder, and I see Hank standing on the creek bank, like, looking at me like, what the hell are you doing over there? Why is everybody making so much noise? And who's that guy? Like,
why is he chasing my brother?
Totally oblivious. So I call him. So Hank, he's running up to catch up to me. I was close enough that the coyote backed off, hopped off, trotted off about another 15, 20 yards and stopped. So I'm checking Hustler over in a panic and just making sure that he wasn't like ripped open or anything, And Hank came up next to me. So it was the 3 of us. And then I look up, and that coyote was just staring right at all 3 of us. Like, it could give a shit. And I was like, okay. So I took off running at him again. And he still never acted like, oh my God. He was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, trotted away down and up the fucking creek bank and took off. And I'm like, so obviously I think what happened is he wandered into a den. Now, I don't have time to sit out and shoot these things. I don't.
I got a buddy that would take care of it in a heartbeat.
I know a couple people, but so close to turkey season, I don't want people running around out here with
I understand that.
fucking shit up. So what I decided to do was trap them. So I have some trapping experience. Now, I don't label myself as a trapper. I don't identify as a trapper, but
you're more into it than I am.
I know how to do it. And basically, years ago, I got into it and then started the podcast. And that basically ate up all my spare time. So I didn't have time to do it. Because that's the thing about trapping is setting traps are very labor intensive. And putting up furs is labor intensive. And setting, checking, and putting up all is very time consuming.
Putting up furs is retarded.
It's a lot of work.
Like, fleshing a hide, a deer, I would say you're looking at a good 2.5 hours for a moderately, like somebody that knows kind of what they're doing. 2 to 2.5 hours on a deer hide to flesh it properly. That's pretty appropriate.
Which is pretty quick for as big as it. Well, that was the thing about a deer hide. So for those of you who don't know, when you're fleshing hides, you typically turn them inside out, obviously. And like a coyote, when you skin it, you don't skin it like you do a deer. So you,
I've never actually skinned a coyote. I'm kind of interested. I've never done any of that.
So what you do is you cuff the ankles. Shit, I gotta remember now. It's been a fucking minute myself. So you cut around. So you hang it from the back legs, cut around the ankles, peel it down, cut the tail, and then you can take like 2 boards or 2 sticks, pinch the tailbone, and just pull it.
Okay.
And you'll turn that bone inside out, and you'll get the tailbone out. So that's like your bottom. It should be an open hole. And that's all you do as far as cutting. Besides that, you take the front paws and you do the same thing you did with the back ones. You get them off and then you just peel it off. Just like that.
Does it come off nicely, or do you have to like?
For the most part. So coyotes aren't like deer, so there's not a lot of fat. So So the hide tends to stick on there pretty good. So you got to have a good knife, and you're keeping the hide, so you're not trying to put holes in them.
Right.
So there's a lot of I call it elbow grease. Are
you talking in deer or in coyotes?
I got that technique from deer, but I use it for coyotes, where you basically take your elbow, you pull some to where it's off the body, and you take your elbow and just.
Oh yeah, you use your body weight in it. Trust me, I've been there. Yeah. I remember I used to skin deer 5 days after I shot them. So
like people like Dave Kennedy that like do this as they run it like a business, Right. So what they'll do is they'll have like hide pulling machines or like a winch basically that they'll have, or a crank or a winch.
Right. Same concept as what we talked about before with the golf ball with the rope in the 4-wheeler.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That basically something to hold onto your hide and then a mechanical tool to pull it off for you.
Which is because what happens is once just like a deer, when you get about right here, that last little bit of the neck to get off the.
I lose so much neck meat when I do that.
I know, everybody does.
That's why I just started shooting him in the freaking neck.
I'm going to lose it anyway, so fuck it.
Right, I lose so much of it, and I won't take a full neck roast because of the CBD and the spinal fluid. I'm like, you know what? If it's a doe, I'm just going to shoot it at the base of the head.
Right. So, yeah, by peeling it off or having a machine like that, it really helps, but you still got to make cuts. because like I said, imagine how hard it is on a deer when you get down that far.
Yeah.
Imagine taking a whole face off a coyote with zero fat. And you got to be careful. You don't want to fuck up the eyelids.
Right. You got to cut right on that. Get down into the actual tissue instead of cutting the hide.
It feels kind of unnatural and weird. The first like 2 or 3 times you do it until you're like, okay, then you get kind of used to it.
I've seen animals caped out, and when you're in the process of doing it, it looks like morbid is the only term that I know that comes close.
If you guys want some good entertainment, go on YouTube and look up coyote speed skinning. There's competitions.
Why have I never been told about this, Brent?
I don't know. Not enough whiskey at Connie's. I don't know. But
we've had plenty of whiskey at Connie's.
That we have.
We definitely screwed up, and we did not get ice before we started this podcast.
Son of a bitch. And there's nobody to help carry the conversation, so we just can't.
Allie!
Right.
Allie! Damn it, she's at the barn.
Garçon! Yeah, there's nobody here.
I guess we're drinking it straight, buddy.
That's fine with me. But
I'm drinking faster than you for a change.
Yeah, which is odd.
It's a shitty day.
It is, beautiful weather.
It's a beautiful day. I just not the podcast for that.
Right. Well, after the podcast, venting.
Back into your coyote hunting. Trapping.
So you came out with me when I was setting those traps.
Yes. You made me swing the hammer.
So what? Yeah, Typke was driving stakes for me, which we made way too long. So like I said, it's been. Let me preface this by saying, really, like when I say trapping experience, like I've caught a couple things on foothold traps, but foothold traps weren't my thing because when trapping season, I don't want to say open because
when fur harvester season is prime,
when the furs are in prime. So I'm going to go through this real quick because I'm assuming that a lot of people don't know this. So the lingo or the terms. So when the fur's in the white or the skin's in the white, that's when you want to do which that means is it's either in the blue or the white. That's when you part the hair and you can see the animal's skin. If it's white, that means that the blood is done flowing to the hair follicles. It's done growing. Like basically they already got their winter coat. If that makes sense. If it's in the blue, that means that fur is still getting its winter coat.
It's still growing.
Right. So you want to wait till they're in the white, which is typically, I think Kennedy and Powell and all them usually start, and Ryan Ray, I think they all start about like at late October, November-ish, which me, you, and everybody, that I know that deer hunts is busy deer hunting because that's, the rut is full swing.
Yeah, this last October I was a little busy with work, but typically I try and get out.
You still shot how many deer?
5.
Right, so you're doing fine. Anyway, so we're all
spot.
Right. So I'm usually wrapped up in deer hunting and stuff. So I never did the foothold thing because that's when you really want to do that, is because the ground isn't really frozen yet. So when I say foothold traps, I'm sure everybody knows what they are, but how to set them. Basically, you dig a hole at an angle. You typically want it 12 to 14 inches. That's what I shoot for. But like this ground out here is hard as hell. It's a bitch. With just a shovel. That's why I texted you today about making me an auger.
Right. Well, you got up there and like where you're actually setting traps, you're mostly in clay.
Yeah, it sucks. And it holds water too when it fucking rains. I found that out. I mean, I know clay held water, but I didn't think about it, I guess.
It's a sand clay mix. So it kind of like you've got that little tiny layer of sand on top that gets kind of mucky.
Mm-hmm.
But you get 2 inches down and you're in clay. And that's just soupy, nasty. Like it's caked together. I don't envy you.
It sucks. So yeah, I mean that's how you set a trap though. You dig a hole down, you throw some bait down in there and some lure, which I'm using. I think it's called Caverns, gland lure. I got a big jar of it, and you just spread that around. And basically, what you're doing is, you want the coyote to come in, see the hole or smell the hole, and put his nose in that thing. And in the meantime, where it looks like something had dug out the excess dirt, where that would fly out, you dig a hole down, or a depression, you put your trap and cover everything real good. So if you were to do that, say December, that's a bitch, right? Because
ground's froze.
Right. It's fucking froze. So in order to keep
I'd say driving the stake would be the worst part.
So if you have all the moisture in the dirt, the air temperature gets below freezing, the dirt pretty much is rock solid. Your trap's underneath there, your jaws won't work. So some people use like coffee filters. They'll put they'll set their trap and then put coffee filters on top, and then put the dirt over. And I think they still use wax dirt. So wax dirt is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a mixture of wax and dirt. So the wax makes the dirt waterproof. No water, no freezing. Which I don't have time to do all that kind of preparation.
It's also April.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, that's why I never really got into the whole foot trapping thing in general. I was a snare guy. I set a couple footholds if the weather was decent still after deer season. Might as well, since you got it out there, bartender.
Dude, you still have like a finger and a half in that glass.
I'm going to take 2 more drinks for your dump.
Don't you slam it. Don't even do it. Allie's going to be mad at me, getting you all drunk. Tell me when, buddy.
That's good.
Bird's getting fucked up.
Yeah, there's no ice in here, so that's stout.
Sorry about the shirt on the microphone there.
So, the alcohol intake, so forgive us if we get a little sidetracked from here on out. Because I forgot what the fuck I was just talking about. Oh, wait, trapping.
Yeah, you were a snare guy. Come on, Bert.
So yeah, I was a snare guy. In January 1st in Michigan, cable restraint season.
Cable restraint, yeah.
Which sucks because
you gotta have like a anti-choking device on there, don't you? A stop at so many inches.
Yeah, so like Indiana, I think they just call them snares because it's fucking simple. They're just snares, right? So it's a one-way lock. And it's just a loop you put somewhere. I mean, they're easy as shit to set. If you find a pinch point, I've done blind sets before and I've caught the most coyotes actually on blind sets. I call them blind sets.
Explain a blind set.
What I'm calling them, I call it a blind set, but I'm not even sure that's not even the right word for it or the right term because I'll go out in the woods after a snow when I know it's a fresh snow, right? And I'll cut a track. They say, if a coyote steps somewhere once, he will step there again. They run a pattern. So they say. So, and I've found that to be true, man, because I found spots where there was a coyote came through. I'm like, oh, that's a really good pinch point. So I just take my snare, which you attach to a tree with wire, and then You run it up, and you take a set wire that you run through a little rubber collar to help hold the thing up. So you run your wire. So this loop is just kind of hanging. I think the law is it's got to be 11 inches off the ground. The loop can't be bigger than 11 inches, and it has to be at least 15 inches off the ground or something like that.
I have no idea.
Or they're flip-flopped. Either way. Basically, you want it about head height. And it has to have a deer stop at 4 1/4 inches, which is basically a nut you just pinch on there so the loop can't get any smaller than, when it tightens down, it can't get any smaller than 4 1/4. And that's so like if deer get caught in it, like their legs, they can get their leg out.
Right. I was going to say 4 1/4, like if that's around their head, they're still toast.
Right. And
especially like...
I can imagine, I've snared 2 deer. One was a buck.
I've seen pictures of deer and snares, and they just balls to the wall as soon as something gets around their neck. They go for it, and it just strangles them. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Which, by the way, like survival talk, like snares, as far as like, so if you find a fence line where deer are crawling underneath it or anything like that, oh, dude, snaring's so easy. Unfortunately, they're extremely... unforgiving. I mean, if you get caught in it, you are fucked. So if you get the neighbor's dog, a deer, which, obviously I didn't want to catch a fucking deer. It was, when I did that, both times it was in February.
Right. It's just random happenstance where, oh, well, crap.
Mm-hmm. And it happens. Trappers run into that all the time. And there's steps you're supposed to take to...
Well, dude, it's just like driving down the road. You can abide by every traffic law and oops, I hit somebody. Somebody pulls out in front of you.
Well, I thought you meant run somebody over. I'm like, that's kind of a big deal, man.
No. Well, you can have people just randomly jump out in front of your car too, but...
I knew a guy that hit a horse once with a Camaro.
I know a guy that had a horse hit by a minivan in front of his house.
Wow.
Yeah. He used pink mist in the description.
Oh.
Apparently they hit that horse going like 60.
So this one, yeah, so same thing. He said he was going 60 miles an hour, but I think me and my brother both came to the conclusion that he was going a lot faster than 60 miles an hour.
Did he just roll over the top?
Driving a Camaro Z28.
60. You mean 160.
Right. Speed limit was 55, so 5 over.
Right, yeah. We're going to tell the cops that I was going 5 over, just so I don't go to prison.
But basically... I think there was a guy on the horse. I think. This has been this has been close to 20 years since I've heard the story even. But I want to say there was a guy on the horse.
That's a real big fuck up. That's not like a random horse running the road.
No, maybe not, because it wasn't like the middle of the night. Like they got loose or something. Maybe that's what it was. But he hit it from behind and it sat down in his passenger seat.
Did the horse die?
I'm pretty sure. They probably put it down after that.
No, from the impact, if it sat down in his passenger seat, I'm just thinking that's a really, really bad night.
Yeah. No bueno.
This is why we don't speed, ladies and gentlemen. Ever.
Or drink and drive. He wasn't drinking and driving, though, I'm pretty sure. He was only 18 when it happened, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, because nobody's ever drank and drove at 18 before. Especially in Niles, where I'm assuming this happened.
I didn't drink until I was legal, Taffy.
I can actually say that. I was a good kid.
Really?
Yup.
You literally did not have a sip of alcohol until you were legal age.
Unless you want to count, your grandpa or your uncle giving you a beer. Hey, try this. Or, one of your buddies take a sip of that.
I got drunk off of peppermint schnapps for my first time. Actually, I take that back. I think my brother got me drunk off of Aftershock. Not my good brother.
No, there goes Wasco.
And I say that in a good Christian sort of way. Love you, Bucky. Anyway.
Oh, it was it was that brother. That makes sense.
The other one. Yeah. But it was Aftershock. And then I remember I was 14. My parents were gone somewhere and I don't know, just had a hankering, I guess. Just I'm going to get in some trouble. So opened up the cabinet and there was peppermint schnapps. I'll never forget that they confiscated from my grandmother. So my grandmother
How do they confiscate liquor from your grandmother?
My grandmother was the shit. She weighed a whole 90 pounds soaking wet. When she died, I think she was 89, 88 or 89.
I wouldn't thought of yet.
And she was in the home, dude, and I would sneak her in peppermint schnapps.
You had to be like 5.
No, I was like 25.
She was 89 when she died. Not she died in 89.
Oh, yeah. That would have been like 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, what? I was so confused at how you were sneaking your peppermint schnapps.
Fucking Jameson.
Yeah, could have been me. Could have been you. I have no idea.
We'll let the listeners decide. God damn it. I keep hitting that fucking thing.
I think they're going to decide it might have been you. You keep smacking your mic, buddy.
I know. Feel a little loosey-goosey. Anyway.
I'm going to have to run after this podcast. You can get too friendly.
So the...
Allie, I'm not cheating on you with your boyfriend. Not cheating with your boyfriend on you. I don't know how to say that. Bert, stay in your corner.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, so I remember I busted out the peppermint schnapps and I took out. So my grandma, that's why they give me get back. So that's why they confiscated it, because grandma, every now and then, when my mom would call her in the evenings, and I'm talking once in a blue moon, grandma would be real buzzed up. And that's when Ma and Popsy would decide, like, okay, time to go check on grandma. We'll be back. I'm like, okay. Well, they came back with the schnapps the one time, like, we're just going to take this so you don't have any more because you can't walk and you're 80 because you're that drunk.
Well, most people that are 80 can't walk anyways.
Love you,
Might as
Grandma.
well let them have some fun.
Anyway, so she'd be so pissed at me for telling that story right now, by the way. She's pissed right now. I can almost hear her yelling at me from heaven.
Oh, man, my grandma was the same way. She didn't drink when she was older, but she got in. Once she was in the home, she would always talk to me. Anytime I'd go up there, she's like, do you got like some whiskey and some coffee? Or she'd be talking about mixing hot damn with hot chocolate.
It's like, dude, that sounds fucking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Her and...
I mean, it sounds like diabetes, but it sounds good.
Well, my Uncle Lonnie, like I think his actual name is Leonard, but his wife is... Leonard Kramer. He was a tomato farmer. Knows Dembski real well down at the tap.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's known my whole family since before I was thought of.
Was he tomato farming with old Jim?
No, they both just had vegetable farms. But anyways, yeah, his wife and my grandma always hung out, and every time they'd talk about going out to the track or whatever, like Hartford Speedway or whatnot, go sit down by the farm and watch the kids work, and let's have a thermos full of hot chocolate and hot damn.
Hot chocolate and hot damn, that,
it's like cinnamon hot chocolate.
That sounds like a wonderful wintertime treat.
Or peppermint schnapps and hot chocolate.
See, I'm not a big chocolate mint guy mixed together.
It wasn't peppermint. It was the candy cane schnapps.
That's peppermint.
That's peppermint?
Mm-hmm.
No, because there's peppermint and then there's candy cane. Like the red and white candy cane. And then there's peppermint.
You realize the red and white candy canes are fucking peppermint.
Like, dude, I don't know. No, there's green ones. I mean, if I know.
So what you're talking about is the 100 proof peppermint schnapps. I know that because...
Well, yeah, I mean...
When I would take my grandmother the schnapps into the nursing home, I'd made sure to not get the 100 proof.
Well, that's what they were drinking.
That's awesome.
Little grandma was like fucking 5 foot and nothing, maybe 100 pounds.
Dude, so for the longest time, after my grandmama died, me and my buddy Ryan, who's like a brother from another mother, grew up at the end of our driveway. He was our neighbor, I guess. My brother's best friend. Knew grandma really well. Anyway, so we'd both keep fifth of schnapps on hand at all times. And then it got to be a problem because I'd go to the fridge and I'd just be like, oh, take a little snort.
This is where the alcoholism started, everybody.
Right. And I had to go back to the fridge for something else. I might as well.
One for grandma.
Right. And then after a while, I'm like, I think I'm just going to not do that anymore.
Let's not keep that in the fridge. We're going to put that in a safe.
Right. That's the thing about whiskey. Like, I love whiskey. I love it. But my ADD, I will like...
You're just constantly sipping, and then pretty soon you're going, whiskey.
I got my whiskey. Yeah.
And then we have
See,
to
like just now.
Yeah.
I almost set it down. I didn't even take a drink
You should
yet.
just... Oh, okay. Yep. If anybody wants to meet us at Connie's later, I'm pretty sure that's where this is headed.
Maybe. I have a pregnant fiance, so...
But if we're gone before she gets home...
That's true.
And I'm supposed to meet somebody down there to pick up keys for a truck I'm working on, so...
We got 6 minutes left to make this an hour long.
We're not cutting this short, dude. No, we've been going like hour and a half. We've barely touched on hunting topics.
I am not saying we should cut it off early. I'm just letting you know where we stand. What else do we want to talk about, by the way?
Well, we barely got into turkey hunting. You just started getting into your coyote trapping and what you were doing with the footholds instead of the snares.
So, back to the trapping thing. So,
let's get back on track.
What did you find interesting when you were with me setting those traps? Because that was like all new to you, right?
What did I find interesting?
Like, what stood out?
Well, the one thing that stood out to me, I won't really point out because you corrected yourself on that prior. No, I will, because it's educational. So you mentioned to me that you hadn't set footholds in quite a while, and you never did much of it. But when you did, your rule was go from the hole, come back 9 inches, and over left or right 3.
And I didn't do that this time.
You didn't do that. When we did it, you came back like 18 inches, and that's where you dug your hole. Or no, that's...
It wasn't even 18 inches.
That's where...
like
right,
10.
that's where I drove the stake, and you had that, 8-10 inches from the hole.
It was like... And it was center.
Right, it was centered, and that was your problem. That's why you've had 2 stolen baits, 2 missed sets.
They've stepped on the jaws of the trap, found it, dug it out, and not stepped on it.
The most interesting part to me was not while we were setting. It was the fact that you caught a damn crow in a foothold trap.
Crazy, dude. It wasn't even the fact that I caught a crow. It was the fact that I caught a crow and then a hawk or something. Another Aryan predator.
It could have been another...
Avian predator killed the fucking bird.
Could have been another crow.
Dude, maybe. But it was crazy because I looked all over. I'm like, what the fuck? So there was I should post that picture. I think I got a picture.
I mean, you sent them to me on Snapchat, so I'm sure you got them somewhere.
I hope so. It was a video, though. I think I might have taken it on Snap. Anyway, so there was a crow, went into one of my sets, got caught, like we said, and then I looked all over. I mean, and there's like soft dirt all the way around, so I'm really looking.
It's a tomato field. Like, it's tilled. You'd know if there was a dog out there.
Not a track anywhere. All I could see was bird tracks. Excuse me. So I was like, shit.
That was very ladylike.
Wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
A little squishy. So anyway...
I've never heard a bird described as squishy.
A squish fart.
It's my squishy.
Squish fart. Like, Anyway, so...
God, we were just talking about this being 2 drunk bastards on the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandra and Lisa were like, oh, we might actually want to watch that. Those 2 with 5 glasses of whiskey? Yeah, no, that sounds like entertainment.
Fucking good whiskey, too. And no ice, which, honestly...
Dude, okay, that is Jameson. That is my I'm fucking broke whiskey when I'm at home. That's my bar whiskey and my I'm broke at home whiskey.
Do you want to know what I normally drink, dude? Do you even know?
Kessler.
My ninja.
I know you drink Kessler.
Smooth as silk.
I like my liver.
Fuck you mean? This is better for your liver than Kessler?
No. I like my taste buds. And my stomach. And my head. Dude,
I don't think this helps any of those.
So, drinking Jameson versus drinking Kessler. We're going to sidetrack from the hunting thing a little bit here. Just
bear with us.
Pretty much all hunters drink whiskey, so this is like half-ass related.
We found that out with all our guests.
Yeah, they're all... Well, except for Chris. He took a sip of the Buffalo Trace.
He said this shit hit me in the mouth.
It kicked me in the mouth.
Love you, Chris.
Next time you come up, I'll have some Jameson or some Woodford for you. Yeah, you'll like it.
Dude, so, hey, real quick, not to sidetrack too much, but a quick pro tip on cheap whiskey. So, you know those...
Mix it with a shit ton of Coke?
No. those balls.
The buzz balls?
Yeah, the ones where you make your ice balls.
Oh, no, that's not a buzz ball. Buzz ball's a kind of liquor, buddy.
Oh, I thought you were talking like a fucking speedball or some shit.
No,
This
what?
got way off the fucking
You
rails.
talking about cocaine?
You started
Stop
it.
talking about... Drugs are bad.
Okay. No, those things where you put the little rubber things that come in two pieces, you put them together and make your ice ball, right?
Yes, no, it's a giant ice cube in the shape of a ball.
You can even use a regular fucking ice tray. What I'm getting at is you take liquid smoke and you put just a little bit in the water and then freeze it and make your ice cube and throw that in your cheap whiskey, and it makes cheap whiskey taste like good whiskey.
It makes cheap whiskey taste like scotch.
I actually heard that on another podcast, and I would give them credit, but I don't remember which one it was. But
It was.
I think it was a guest on Rogan.
Was it the guy from Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit? Probably not.
I don't listen to that.
They're nowhere near hunting related, but they're pretty good. I mean, government conspiracy shit, you know, tinfoil hat and whatnot. And
So, what I thought you were going to say about the interesting part about the trap and setting was the sticks, because I thought that shit was very interesting when I learned that a coyote will
that they
never
avoid
step on a
sticks?
stick ever. So if you want to funnel them exactly where you want them,
No, I kind of knew that most wild animals avoid them.
Right.
Not at all costs, but most of them are very conscious of where they step because of noise.
because I was going to say like all of us have been in the tree stand and heard the twig snap, you know?
Right, and you're like, oh, well, that's a dead deer.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a fucking turkey.
Like that was something heavy, because that was a decent sized twig.
right.
But yeah, coyote. What amazes me about them in general is I've sat deer hunting, like when I was a kid, ground hunting, and had them, dude, come in with like 20 yards, and I had no idea they were there until I saw them. They saw me, and then they just gone.
Yeah,
They move so quickly and
They're like
quietly,
little
it's
ghosts.
insane. I mean, that's
most of the time I see them when I'm deer hunting. I see them like 200 yards out, and I'm sitting there like, why don't we take a poke?
what's weird is I don't mind shooting them, like what you're talking, but I hate executing them.
No, see, that's like, we'll go back to the quail thing. That's the disconnect. When you're standing there at 10 yards and you have a coyote in a foothold staring you in the face, it has puppy eyes.
Yeah.
Like, they've got the puppy dog eyes. It's still a dog. Like, there's no getting away from that. It is a canine. It's in the canine family. You can't, like, you've got to have some kind of disconnect or understand that, yes, it's a dog, but it's a wild dog, and you're taking it out because it's causing problems.
Exactly.
You're not shooting the neighbor's dog. That does in no way help the fact that it's still a cute, fluffy little animal, and it hurts
Even though
to take that
and a
animal
lot
out.
of them aren't cute and fluffy when you walk up.
Right, they're snarling and mad, but
My thing is they're fucking dogs. I'm a dog guy.
I get that.
I hate it. But
Dude, that's how I feel about cats.
If there was one in that field right now, I would not hesitate to grab the 6'5" and pop him.
Oh no, that's what I'm talking about. It's the disconnect. Well, across the road, Bert.
I mean, I would do it.
I would walk across the road and get
Right.
across the
do
bridge.
everything
Do it legally.
legal beagle. Anyway,
Sorry, I had to call you out. Let me just pop the screen onto the podcast window and shoot it from here.
almost did that for a red squirrel today, by the way.
In your yard?
Yeah, I was in here that.
So you found the mag for your 17.
I did.
Let's get back into you, like, in your gun things. How you, like, well, this one's jammed, this one's broke, I don't have a mag for this one, I don't know where that one's at. I'm like,
I feel
what
like
the fuck, dude?
I feel like you're exaggerating that a little bit.
Like, slightly. Not,
So my-
not that much. That's the bad part.
My rabbit gun jammed the last time we went rabbit hunting at the end of the season. So I'm not really worried about that right now.
Yeah, it's a good thing you figured out how the fuck to shoot it, too. He got the rabbit. I'll give him credit on that. He did get the bunny, one shot. But the day prior to that, he missed one with 6.
Do we want to get into misses?
Dude, you know what? I don't even care.
I said, what were we just talking about last night?
all the misses that we have on the trees from the squirrels. There's just like one here, one there, one here, one there.
So
like,
some sad news. The property directly behind me to the side of the house is been sold, apparently. And that property line is a lot closer to our place than I thought it was, which sucks. So anyway, I was out there because they had some flags marked and stuff. And I was out there walking around yesterday or the day before. Just checking some shit out. And there were so many trees that just had just shot marks. The one in particular I was telling you about. You could tell somebody was chasing a squirrel up and over a tree.
Yeah, these weren't 22 or 17 marks. These were like a shotgun pattern in the tree and a shotgun pattern in the tree and another one and another one. And God, pattern your shotguns, ladies and gentlemen.
So the funny part is the guy I had talked to out there the other day, because Allie, fiance, walked outside and was starting she's got a diesel, so she was letting him warm up and feeding the horses out here, and she came running back in, and she's like, hey, there's a guy out in the woods. What? There's a guy out in the woods. I'm like, oh, over here? Okay. So I went and I talked to him, and I thought thinking it was the guy that owned it. And no, it was a guy from Delta, Indiana. He was up here because the guy had gotten a hold of him about logging the stuff out. And I'm thinking, especially after yesterday, after I looked at that shit, I'm like, good luck. Because all them big oaks are where the squirrels were, and we riddled them with buckshot.
Not buckshot, birdshot.
Whatever.
They're very, very different.
They are different.
36 caliber ball versus the size of a grain of sand. Anywhere in between, depending on the size of shot you have.
Which, by the way, what are you slinging for turkeys?
4s.
Just straight 4s?
3-inch 4s.
Boss?
No. See, we're on the I'm broke whiskey.
I thought you bought cases of fucking Boss shells to go.
They're 2-inch. They're 2-inch steels.
2 3/4 or just 2?
No, they're number 2 3-inch steels.
Yeah.
There's a legality issue with that in Michigan. You're not allowed to shoot anything bigger than a 4.
Trying to compute. I'm like, I don't think that's legal.
But it's not. That's why I'm not
shooting. But while you're buying cases, you didn't just buy like a box of fucking turkey rounds? Well, no. Do you need a turkey round? I'll give you a fucking turkey round. You only need one.
I have 10.
Hopefully.
I have 10.
Which, by the way, not using my bow. Did I tell you what happened yesterday?
Nope. Break the string?
So, no.
Roll the string off the can?
It occurred to me, as of yesterday, the season would open in 3 days. And I was like, maybe I should shoot the bow?
That's probably a good call. Typically.
So, back up a quick second for the listeners. So the plan is opening morning, my brother, who's never shot a turkey, is going to be up here. I'm sorry, never shot a spring turkey. He'll be pissed about that. Never shot a spring turkey. My cousin Corey, who's sitting with him, who doesn't have a gun, which fucks everything up. So those two are going to hunt together, sharing a weapon, apparently. Ray Cole, my old co-host from RFF, is going to be up here.
Do you guys want to borrow a crossbow?
I don't.
No, like for those two. Seriously, you just like crosshairs, it's dead nuts out to 100.
Bobby might. I don't want one. That was the thing. So like, and then I got. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we're good. I'm using. I'm going to take Allie's dad's shotgun out. So the shotgun that I normally use.
The jammed 20 gauge?
No, he's got another 12 gauge. That shoots 3-inch.
Go buy a fucking 12 gauge, Bert.
I know, Tacky.
Sorry.
I'm not working right now, Dick.
If your birthday was closer, I'd buy you one.
Anyway. I'm going to need some more whiskey, Tacky.
We're going to wait a minute.
Are you momming me right now?
Daddy.
Oh, God. That got really fucking weird.
Hey, your girlfriend gave me the nickname.
Yeah. Taifke is always the voice of reason. Anyway.
I don't know why, but I am.
The fuck was I just talking about, man?
Turkey hunting.
I know I was talking about turkey hunting, but what?
Bobby and your cousin not having a gun?
Yes.
And you're borrowing Dan's?
Yeah. So the gun I normally use, Allie's going to use, obviously.
Right.
So back to the whole proposal thing. I was going to propose to Allie on opening day turkey season, but my cousin, who's never killed anything, Corey, I love you to death, but the killer gene did not get passed down to that son of a bitch. Just at the embarrassing age, I think he's 42 now, has never shot a deer.
Oh, man, if it's 44, we got to put up a fucking shitter out back with a corn pile.
That's 2 episodes in a row we referenced that exact scene.
We're just going to have to watch Escanaba into Moonlight on a podcast.
We're just going to have it like in the background.
Just playing, put up a TV and be like, yep.
So,
Great Grandpa Alphonse always said.
I still got some beer, though.
You didn't give me one.
I'd go get you one, but I got to get up.
I know. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, so I was going to use a bow, and I decided, well, fuck it. That's right. I already backed up. So Allie's proposal. I was going to propose to Allie for turkey season. Corey didn't have a fucking gun, which I didn't know because I was going to sit with my cousin with his gun, right? Sit with him, call for him, coach him, put him on a bird because I've been scouting my ass off. I know where these birds are moving.
Yeah, me too. My field, 6 o'clock every night.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna help Corey lay down a bird. Allie was last year adamant on wanting to hunt by herself and call by herself. So I was gonna let
mouth call, box call, pot call.
That box call.
That bot call.
That box call. Yeah. So she's gonna be out here, and Corey was gonna sit with me, and then I was gonna send Bobby by himself, or him and Ray can sit together. Well, the other day at Easter, Bob's like, Corey doesn't have a fucking gun.
Oh.
So I'm like, shit.
Does Bobby have a gun?
So in the meantime, I had thought, so I wanted to propose to Allie for opening day turkey season. I had thought I was going to be sitting with my cousin, so I'm like trying to like figure this out, right? Like, how am I going to do it? And I came to the conclusion that it isn't going to work out, right? If we're not sitting together. So that's when I started texting you. So I bought this ring, and it was a size 5. I found out, which I text Typegate. I'm like, the problem is I'm gonna want to propose to her. I told him the whole situation. I'm like, I don't know her fucking ring size, man. I don't know how to tell that shit. And what did you tell me? Just off the cuff, like he's just been storing this information away for a rainy day.
So one of my like bartender friends, I don't remember which one it was, but told me that they had a jeweler's class in college. And for about 80% of people, your ring size is within a half size of your shoe size, which is, it holds fairly true. For very short people, it holds true. For very tall people, it holds true. Allie's a very tall girl. And I'm like, she's what was? She's like a size 9 shoe?
Exactly, size 9.
And she's what, size 9 ring?
Right. And you just off the cuff was just like, I bet she's a size 9.
It's just one of those random pieces of information that stuck in my head when I was drunk at the bar, and bartenders were dropping some wisdom.
Is that the shoe size correlates?
Yes.
Which, I'm like, whatever.
But then you have my friend Lauren that's like medium height.
So.
Not even fucking close.
Right. So I had decided, I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm not going to wait till turkey day then. And then I was trying to take her to a nice dinner, and I was going to do this thing and like have one of our mutual friends like text her and be like, you should come over, then have her take pictures while I'm proposing and like all this stuff. And then like, I could not get my pregnant girlfriend at the time out of the house. To save my fucking life, I could not get her out of the house. I'm like, God damn it. So finally I was like, I remember I was pacing back and forth in the kitchen, like processing everything, right? And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I think so. Are you stoned? I'm like, I haven't smoked in a while. I'll be right back.
And she's like, yes, he's stoned. What the hell?
So walked out, grabbed the ring, walked back inside, and awkwardly I like was trying to make eye contact with her. Like I had like a whole speech planned out, and I'm like, I look at her in the eye and I'm just like,
had the ring in this fancy little wooden box.
Yeah, the box itself. So by the way, backstory, looked for an actual, that's why I bought it from a friend of mine. And
did you tell her that yet?
Yeah, she knows.
Okay.
So, but hence the box, because
Just
I was
covering your
like
ass.
looking for a really like a traditional ring box
Right.
somewhere in this fucking house. Like she's got jewelry everywhere, right? Not a fucking ring box.
Should have texted me.
Any fuck. God, of course you fucking have one.
I don't, but I can call Rhonda and get one. Still got that box, that ring.
Old Rhonda gave him a ride. So fucking
fuck
funny.
you.
So fucking
That's
funny.
because of what you said, and you did it just to be an asshole.
I didn't, but that's funny. So anyway, it's in this awkward looking box I got it in. And so I like gave her a hug and, I was like, I'm sorry I annoy you, but I kind of want to do that the rest of my life. And she laughed, didn't think much of it. And I was like, but here's your anniversary present I got you with this turkey call. Thinking I'm being slick, right? I actually got the idea from the guy I bought the ring from. He's like, you should tell her it's a turkey call. I'm like, that's actually kind of fucking smart. So
Turkey season is coming up.
But she didn't open it. Like she grabbed the box and she's like, thanks.
Then she went back to watching Netflix.
Well, we were in the kitchen and I'm like, so do I kneel now? Like I didn't know what to do.
Dude, I wish I would have been here.
So like
it sounds like such a shit
I was
show.
like, do I open the box and then kneel as I'm kneeling? Do I kneel then open it? Do I tell her to open it as I'm kneeling? All these things are running through my fucking head. So you know what I did? I just kneeled and then opened it for her. Classic move, right? And then I sat there and looked at her, trying not to cry like a little bitch. And all she said was, well, are you going to ask? With tears running down her face. She's crying and she's just like, well, are you going to ask? And I was like, I could not physically get the words out. And then when it came out, I was crying. So like a little bitch. So like the whole speech I had planned out, none of it. And then the actual proposal, I forgot to fucking ask. And when I did, I said, like a little girl. So pissed off. But she loved it. She said yes to my, I don't want to say surprise, but
prepubescent proposal.
Throwing some big words out for drinking so much whiskey, Type K.
Surprise, I'm still pretty much sober.
I would like to think I am too, but
we know better.
All right.
You started before me, don't even lie.
Yeah, I did. Sort of. I was busy all day. Look at that lawn.
Oh, did you actually mow?
Fuck
Shit.
you. Yeah, fucking mowed.
I don't pay attention to lawns. Fuck the yard.
I lawned, I weed whacked, I did everything. Which, by
You
the way,
lawned?
Dan...
You lawned. He thinks he's sober, ladies and gentlemen.
The scary part is I'm producing this whole shit show.
Yeah, well, you're doing okay so far.
Are we?
I have no idea. Where are we at? Like 2 hours now?
We're 16.
Oh, we can keep going.
Yeah, I feel like I was going somewhere and I got sidetracked by the proposal thing, though. Like I was going a direction with something.
You were talking about turkey hunting with the... Like, you were going to propose on that day, but you had people with the...
Oh, yeah, so I didn't change my mind. But it turns out, so Corey doesn't have a fucking gun. Bobby was like, well, fuck. So he was planning on using my gun. So Corey and Bobby are sitting together anyway. And Ray, I mean, I could sit with him, but I don't need to. Ray can shoot a fucking turkey on his own. So I'm hunting with Allie anyway, and I'm like, well, fuck. And then, oh, yeah, that was the best part. I went to go put the ring on her finger. The fucking ring didn't fit. That's what I was getting at.
Because it was a fucking 5.
And I mean, it didn't just like not almost fit. It was like 3.5, 4 sizes too small fit.
Like first knuckle.
Right. Fuck. So we took it to give them a shout out. I think it's Jewel Fire.
I have no idea.
In St. Joe. They do everything
Zero
in house.
experience with jewelry.
We're getting the ring back in a week, so fucking awesome.
What size is she, Brent?
A fucking 9. What the fuck, dude? That's literally
I'm
when
just
the lady at the jewelry store said what size she actually was, and I'm like,
that sumbitch.
No, I take that back. She is an 8.
She's an 8?
8 or an 8.5, but you're still way fucking closer than I was.
8.5
She-
falls within the rule.
Allie thought she was a 9.
Oh.
That's what it was. Because she told me, she's like, I'm a 9. I'm like, God damn it. Fucking Tyke. Oh, can I have some more whiskey now, Mom? Or I'm just going to get my own.
Yes, sir. I will give you some more whiskey.
Thank you. God, it is so fucking beautiful out.
Yeah, and I didn't wear shorts. I fucked up.
Which is yeah, it's really fucked up because I am normally the one that's chilly, like a little girl, and you're the one that's always fucking
burning up because life is hell.
Right. I gave my brother shit the other day because it was like, I swear to God, 35.
We're gonna kill a fifth between the two of us. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
There goes Rhonda.
Is that why you knocked my binos over?
I didn't notice till after, but we can go with that.
Oh fuck, Rhonda distracted. I'm getting distracted quite a bit.
It's called ADHD and whiskey.
And Wishkish Gay.
ADHD and Jameson. They mix. Makes for entertainment.
So, for you listeners, yesterday I had 6 Toms and 1 Jake right there where I can hunt.
I also had 6 Toms and like 9 to 12 hens.
So,
straight that way where I can hunt.
I feel
and
like
Bert can't.
Oh, that's brood. I was going to let you hunt out here.
I would give you permission, but it's technically not my property. You have to go talk to John. I will go with you if you would like. Put in a good word.
Is he a ginger like you?
Oh, God, no. I'm the only one in the family. I'm adopted.
The fucking devil. The spawn of Satan.
I mean, that explains a lot.
Willie isn't considered?
No. He's dark hair, top, bottom, all over.
I guess it's been a minute since I've seen Willie, but I imagine Willie having blonde hair for some reason.
No, he has brown hair, but there's not a whole lot left.
Which, by the way, he lives in what, Elkhart?
No, he lives over in White Pigeon, north of Elkhart, in Michigan.
Okay.
You know where Montville is?
Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't know why the hell I'm trying to remember why the hell I thought he lived in Elkhart. But either way, the first time I met Willie, first thing that came to mind, that son of a bitch sounds like he's from the UP.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well,
because you don't.
You haven't had enough whiskey.
I mean, you do on occasion after some.
You get enough drinks in me and it comes out.
I mean, I fluctuate through my whole
people always tell me,
too, but
I always get confused for like, did you live in Canada?
See, I do mine to joke around. Like the Southern thing, the Asian thing, the German thing. I have a lot of accents.
I just get drunk and start talking like a fucking Canadian, eh?
But your brother hopped out of the truck and was like, hello. Just like straight Youper, man.
He is a professional individual too. He works for a very nice, so he works for Praxair, but he started as a sales rep. So he has like the interpersonal communication shit down. And now he does like robotics, not repair, but basically you call him and say, I need to do this. And he goes, this is what you need. Let me come set it up. Or you call them and say, hey, I'm having this problem. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to send this guy to teach all your people how to do this shit correctly.
No shit.
Can't weld to save his fucking life, but he can teach people.
I can't weld to save my life either, Type. That's why I got you.
I say that's just coming from me being the brother that, hand-eye coordination's a thing, and he's just fucking book smart, apparently. Kind of a dumbass in other aspects. I mean, kind of sort of love you, but, whatever.
I was going to say, I feel like we just talked about
he does
your
listen
brother
to this,
listen to this podcast, which, by the way, I owe a fucking apology to my father.
Okay, I'm not going to chime in there.
Why?
You meant what you said.
Damn. Damn.
You said why, all right?
Look.
It was in a loving nature, I think.
I meant it all in a good Christian sort of way.
Didn't we just have a talk about organized religion, Bert?
That's off mic.
That's off mic. That's how we're referring to things now. That's off mic.
That's an off mic conversation for sure.
That's a good thing. I agree with that.
So, should we make a friendly wager
on what?
The size of our bird? Because it sounds like we're both in.
Do you just want to go in the other room and get the tape measure out?
Man, that got weird. I'm talking turkeys, Tyke. Do we want to do?
Oh, okay.
Do we want to do?
You said the size of, and then you just like sidetracked.
Right. No, and I'd probably lose that. My nickname was Smalls in high school. But that was by theory. I actually did that on purpose. If you tell a woman,
you told me the story where you tell them it's tiny, and then they're like, "Prove it."
Right. And then you whip out your penis, and once it's out,
they're like, "Oh."
Even if they want to put it away, they got to touch it.
Right. And you're like, "Look, it grew."
But I'm talking turkey. So should we make a friendly wager on who shoots the biggest turkey?
What's the friendly wager?
I don't know. What do you think? A couple beers at cons. Somebody's got to get a tattoo. I don't know.
No, because I don't have any tattoos yet. The one that I
You don't have any?
No. The one that I want is I'm not getting anything before that. So, that one's for a dead relative. So that one's did you just choke on a Busch Light, you pussy? Take a sip of whiskey and clear your throat.
You said that as I was swallowing, and I thought of something really funny to say, and I choked myself. Anyway, go ahead.
What, the one I want is for a dead relative?
Off my conversation.
Okay.
That was before the whole dead relative thing, which made it really weird.
Yeah, dude, your brain's fucked up.
Yes.
I don't know where I was going with that, other than, I don't want to do tattoos for a friendly wager. That's not good. That's never good.
So what do we do?
I say we don't, because I want to shoot the first Tom that steps out, and I know there's a triple beard down there that I don't really want to fucking wait for.
How about this to keep
do you want to do, weight, or spurs, or beards, or beard?
I want to do...
It's like...
Let's do weight.
Just wait.
Wait, and then... fuck.
Field dressed or whole?
We don't have a good scale. Do you have a digital scale?
I mean, I've got the one that we weighed all the meat on. We can do that. Just set it in the bowl on top of it. Put the bowl on there and
why don't we do weight as a tiebreaker? And let's do beard length and spur length. Combine those inches on both birds, and whoever has more inches wins. If that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Or should we just stick with the fucking beard and leave the spurs out of it?
I don't know, because you're probably going to shoot a Jake and a half again, and then I'm going to feel bad.
I am not going to shoot a Jake and a half. That was in the fall, and I will not do that in the spring. In the fall, it's so much less fun in the fall.
You just shoot a turkey with a frozen beard. You're just going to see half of it from the side, oh my god, it's a paintbrush, and shoot it and walk up, and it's 5 inches long.
Speaking of paintbrushes, I haven't seen him in a minute. So there's one turkey out here that has...
Hey, Bert, you know why?
Why?
He's that way.
You seen him?
Yep.
You son of a bitch.
Beards like that guy.
I know, dude. It's fucking huge. It looks like a literal
fucking 2-inch diameter beard.
It looks like a paintbrush that's 14 inches long hanging off of his fucking... It's crazy.
He was one of those 6 down there the other night.
Was he?
Yep. I popped in for a minute and pulled my binos up, and I'm just like, I'm supposed to be at Woody's right now. I gotta go. Didn't want to leave Lauren hanging.
So I put this bad boy. I don't know if the camera can see it.
Your spotting scope. You're showing off your Tasco spotting scope.
I'm not showing it off. I'm just saying I put the glass on.
I thought you were gonna grab a fucking turkey mount or something that you've neglected to hang up in here.
Where by the way, we're getting
ceiling. Ceiling. We talked about that before. I said, we're gonna pin it to the fucking ceiling.
Yeah, there's no fucking room in here. So by the way, we are getting a new studio
eventually. Well, once we construct
it's over there. We just gotta fix it to get in there. Which hopefully by July, we said that's what we're shooting for.
It was a chicken coop, so hopefully there's no bird flu.
Which we gotta come up with a name for the studio.
I thought you were just sticking with Kilo Creek.
I was, but since it's an old chicken coop, I feel like there's an opportunity there. Maybe we should let the listeners name our new studio.
The only thing running through my head's dirty. I can't.
What you got?
Nope.
Something about cock, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
Oh, the first one that popped in was Cock Hut.
Type K, I fucking love it.
What? No. No.
Send it!
Absolutely not.
I fucking love it.
And we're recording tonight in the Cock Hut.
I want to put a giant sign that says Cock Hut in the front.
I'm going to... Okay, so I will... If you do that, I'm taking the laser at work and I'm lasering a big-ass fucking rooster to put right above it.
Dude, I think the Cock Hut...
And he just... just broke his brand new spotting scope.
Shit.
I hope that fucker's durable.
Well, it's a Tasco, so we'll see.
Meant to take a licking and keep on going like a Timex.
God, man. Compared to my brother's spotting scope, though, this is I mean, no offense to Tasco, but this is shit, dude.
Well, they're...
Compared to Vortex.
Okay, they're a budget brand. You bought it for, what, $130?
Yeah. 120, whatever it was.
120, 130 versus
I forgot you were with me when I grabbed that.
Yeah, a Vortex spotting scope. That's his Vortex is what, a 60 power?
I'm not sure. Just the clarity. The clarity
right,
is insane.
but a Vortex scope is this 3 or 4 times what that is. They're $400 or $500 for a Vortex one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you take your Tasco that isn't affordable for your working man scope. Like, it lets you see the other tree line. It may not let you, like, oh, well, that's a 170-inch 12-point. But you can see, fuck, that's a 12-point.
Dude.
From 400 yards away.
This thing actually, I started on that tripod.
The wee baby one?
Yeah, I ended up switching it. But this thing does fine, man. Those 6 times were out there, and I was like, I felt like I was 3 feet away from him once I put this thing on him. It's the clarity. It does suck compared to a Vortex, but it gets the job done.
Right. Well, Vortex has different clarities as well. Like, I run the Vortex Copperhead on my deer rifle. That's their, like, baseline $150. Here's your, 3x12 44 millimeter scope. Have fun, go kill shit.
Right.
Like, it's not the, I'm going to shoot 800 yards because I can see a dime off of a fucking turkey's head kind of scope. It's the practical, I need a good, reliable scope that can survive a drop out of a tree stand, and I can still see 200 yards clear enough to take a shot.
Right.
Like, you gotta, you do get what you pay for.
That's, yeah.
And there's, like, companies just like Vortex that, they make all ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
I don't even know what brand those fucking binos are. Those are 12x50s, but I'm not sure what. And those ran me like $100. But fuck, they've been out on...
Uso good.
Is that what it says?
Uso good. I'm not kidding, it's Uso good.
Put that in the camera so they can see that. That is so fucking funny.
I don't know if you guys can actually see that, but it literally says Uso good. USOGOOD. Uso good.
That's clever, and I like them for that.
That's probably why you bought them.
No, it's not. But I bought them because they were cheap and they're 12x50s. I mean, and they work, man. They're great binos. I've taken them out to Wyoming. I've taken them to Montana, which I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast. I don't even know if I told you that my brother kind of dropped the ball on when we were supposed to buy tags.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that, but then you said you get it over-the-counter cow
elk.
Elk?
Yeah. Which, I mean, cool. I'm all, any excuse to get in the fucking mountains.
Do you need points?
Yeah, I think so, but we have one. But I think it's a general point. That's why I wish my brother was here to talk about the shit, because he...
Damn it, Bobby.
I
I haven't got to meet you yet, and I'm freaking upset about that, okay? I hope you listen to this, and I'm scolding you without meeting you.
By the way, you're going to be here Saturday?
I think. Yes, probably.
Where the fuck else would you be?
I don't know.
Oh, your friends are going to be here.
Virginia?
Virginia?
Oregon? Maryland?
Just dartboard.
The UP.
Right, which I thought your brother was from.
Well, I do have an uncle from up there, but he was from here, but he's been there since he was 17 because he's a racist fuck.
Ouch.
Well, okay, I love him to death, but dude, like, give it up. Okay.
The Civil War was how long ago?
Right. Like, you ask him why he moved to the UP, and his response is because there ain't none of them up there. Like, dude, really?
Right. Well,
really?
For starters, if you really wanted to
He's
go
also wrong.
Yeah. And if you really wanted to go that route, there's really not too many here, but it's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
he uses that as an excuse, and it's a shitty excuse, but he wanted to get off the farm when he was a kid, and he moved with one of his sisters and just took off.
Yeah, look.
Been there ever since. And it irritates me that he uses that as an excuse because culturally, it's not okay. Like, it's not okay, period, as far as like a human goes.
No, we're all brothers.
Exactly. Everybody asks me, why don't you like your family? Well, they're a bunch of racist assholes. I'm not going to lie. Most of them suck. The Tyfkes are pretty good, though.
And he hopes you're watching right now from that look.
Yes. The Tyfke side is pretty good. The other side, that I won't name, I think I did earlier, but the other side sucks. Just as bad.
On that note, I think we could probably shut this thing off anytime now.
What, just leave it right at the, screw you guys. Your opinions are terrible. Your worldview is fucked.
That sounds familiar.
Just let me talk to Brandon. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's a little inside.
Just make him cry.
We'll see. He'll be here Saturday, so. Anyway.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, off mic.
Off mic.
So, to wrap things up, this fall, if you guys are local in Lake Township, please go vote for Zach Carson. I'm actually hoping to get him in here to do like a little ad, like a 10-second quick one.
Oh, dude, you know what? Invite him down on Saturday. We might be able to pop in here and record something real quick with him then.
Yeah, it'll just take a couple seconds. But anyway,
come down and get some food, meet everybody, have a couple beers.
Absolutely. So yes. So Zach Carson, please make sure you guys this summer at some point come to Baroda and stop down to Chill Hill. They got live bands lined up just about every weekend, I think, through the summer. Always a great time down there, which coincidentally is right next door to Connie's, which is our watering hole. So if you guys want to come say hey, we'll most likely be in there because it's summertime. We're not hunting, so we're going to be in a bar
after 7
or in a lake fishing. Yeah, after 7, 8 o'clock.
You gotta respect the whole, like, we do have day jobs thing.
Right. And responsibilities and whatnot. So
I don't have other responsibilities other than my day job. I'm still a fucking child, but yeah.
Allie calls me a child all the time.
But you have other responsibilities now.
I do. Big ones. So
I don't.
Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you for listening. Please share this on any and all social media. We gave the shout outs at the beginning of the episodes because that shit means a lot to us and we appreciate it. People can't find us if nobody shares us, right? So the more people share and get the word out, the more people find us, the more of a following we have, which means the more fun we can have as far as events and other things and charity events, fundraisers.
If you don't share it, you don't reach out. It makes it a lot harder for us to get together and have events.
Exactly. And even if you guys have a guest idea or like if you think you would be a good guest, I tend not to promote that too much because if we want you on the podcast, we will ask you to be on the podcast. You know what I mean? Because through RFF, there was a lot of times where people would be like, oh, yeah, you should have me on the podcast. And you're like, well, you're kind of giving me the creeps. But
well, that's half the problem with counties, honestly. Get down there and start drinking. People are like, have me on. I'm like,
but there was people like Nick and Michael that reached out to us in the past week that were, yeah. I mean, I would definitely consider having him on. Well, I can't remember if it was Michael. It was Nick with the hounds.
Yeah, Nick with the hounds. I want to get a hold of the guys that I went goose hunting with out in Missouri. But those boys are from Kansas, man. They're only up here once in a blue moon. So,
like we have a pretty good bank to pull out of as far as guests, but the more the merrier. And I was even thinking maybe even for like camp talks like this, like how cool would it be to just like do like a drawing or something, like once a month, to like find a random listener to like, they could be a guest on the show.
Got 5 or 6 people that are like, yeah, it'd be great. I'm like,
the whole 10 people that listen, like maybe one of them a month.
Yeah,
for the next 10 months.
See, that's the problem, though. We only have 10 that listen, so it's going to come down to, like, after 10 months, we're going to have repeating guests.
Right. It's a problem.
On Camp Talk, and that's just going to look bad.
Right.
So we're going to need a couple more of you to kind of reach out.
Or we're going to look like real jackasses when we're like, so if anybody's interested in being a guest on the show, hit us up. And then nobody hits us up.
I mean, I could see that. I could totally see that. Please don't let that be true, though.
Yeah, please.
That would make me sad.
Please. I've already had my feelings hurt enough this episode. Taifke mommed me with my whiskey.
That was a daddy move.
I'm going to say mom move.
We'll ask your girlfriend, see what she says.
All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you next time. All right, everybody, that's it. So please make sure you guys head to our Facebook page and check that out. Those of you that are listening on Spotify or Apple or wherever, make sure you guys check us out on YouTube. We've been posting videos of us actually recording, if you haven't caught on to that yet. And it's a lot of fun, so check that out. I think you guys will enjoy the episodes just a little bit more when you can see what's actually going on. All right, so as always, all music and artwork is done by the Shane Yoder, and all editing is done by me, Brent Ruff. We'll holler at you next time, everybody.